A duke was accused of cheating. Before he could answer, the woman no one noticed spoke first. By morning, she was the one being punished for it. Eleanor Wren stood 2 feet behind Lady Ashworth's chair, a ledger pressed flat against her ribs. No one at the card table had looked at her once tonight. That was the point. She'd learned young to take up as little space as a room would allow her. The Duke of Rothmere sat across the felt, winning the way he always won, quietly, without needing to enjoy it. Lord Pembroke had lost 4 hands running, and a man who loses 4 hands running starts hunting for a reason that isn't his own play. 40 pounds sat in the center of the table. Small money, but in this room, losing was never really about money. Eleanor kept counting. She always counted.
She didn't know yet that tonight the numbers in her head were about to matter more than anyone at that table.
Pembroke's cards hit the table like a slap. "You're mocking them. I've watched you all night." Silence swallowed the room whole. A duke did not get accused of cheating. Not here. Not by a man who had simply lost. Rothmere said nothing. Silence was his best weapon, and everyone knew it. Then Eleanor stepped out of the shadow behind Lady Ashworth's chair. "He isn't cheating," she said. "I've counted every hand tonight. His play matches exactly." 12 heads turned toward her at once, as if she'd spoken in a language none of them expected her to know. Rothmere looked at her longest. Then he did the one thing no one in that room could have predicted. He stood, pulled out the chair beside his own, and set his hand flat against its back. "Sit down, Miss Wren. You've just made yourself impossible to ignore." By breakfast, the whispering had already outpaced the truth. A secretary contradicting a peer in front of witnesses. 3 separate guests suggested, delicately, that Miss Wren had done it to draw the Duke's notice. Lady Ashworth summoned her before the tea had cooled. "You embarrassed a peer of the realm in my drawing room. Do you understand what a girl in your position stands to lose over this?" "I understand what staying silent would have cost him. That mattered more to me. It won't matter to anyone hiring a secretary next season." Rothmere heard the shape of it within the hour, that Lady Ashworth was considering letting her go before quarter's end. Quietly, so no one would have to say why. He found Eleanor in the corridor before she reached the servant's stair. "You're being dismissed because of what you said for me." She kept walking. He matched her pace without touching her, simply closing the distance until the hallway itself seemed to run out of room. Don't fix this. I'd rather lose the position than have people say the Duke intervened for his favorite." "Then what would you have me do? Let them punish you for telling the truth?" She stopped. So did he. Close enough that she had to tip her head back slightly to hold his eyes, and neither of them moved to fix that either. "I don't know. But if you help me now, I'll never know whether I earned any of this on my own." 3 days later, she came to the estate office to return his ledger. Not out of longing. The household accounts needed reconciling before Lady Ashworth decided her fate for good. She found him alone. No advisor, sleeves pushed back, a fire he clearly hadn't tended in an hour. "You let this happen," she said, setting the ledger down. "You could have spoken. You let me carry all of it instead." He didn't answer right away. A log shifted and cracked in the grate, and she flinched at the sound before either of them could pretend she hadn't. He crossed the room to see to the fire, hands busy with the poker instead of an answer, and only spoke once his back was to her. "I've spent most of my life in rooms where everyone agrees with me before I finish a sentence. You were the only person in that house keeping an honest count of anything. Not the cards, Miss Wren. Everyone else. I let you carry it because I wanted to see if the world would survive you telling the truth in it. That was selfish of me, and I knew it while I was doing it, and I'd do it again. You were the only one who counted true. She said nothing. Her hand found the small ledger she always carried, and she set it on the corner of his desk before she could think better of it, and left. He didn't follow. He watched the door a long time after it closed. Lady Ashworth kept her on quietly, without explanation, the day after Rothmere paid a call that no one in the house discussed above a whisper. Pembroke apologized within the week. Society found something newer to gossip about by Thursday. 11 days passed. Then a letter arrived, addressed in a hand she didn't recognize. 1 page, 1 paragraph, 1 line alone at the bottom.
I've kept my own count since you left. It still comes out true.
She read it 4 times at the window. The smile that came was not a small one. It broke open like something she'd been holding shut for 11 days and finally let go. The next card game filled the same room, the same 12 chairs, the same fire. Rothmere set down his hand and crossed the room in front of everyone. No accusation forcing him this time, no room holding its breath. He pulled out the chair beside his own. Eleanor stepped out of the shadow of Lady Ashworth's chair, on purpose this time. The first time, she had spoken because the truth demanded it. This time, she sat because she chose to. He leaned toward her before the next hand was dealt. I've discovered I miscounted one thing. What's that, Your Grace? How lonely this room was before you spoke in it.